All right, hello and welcome to DWTT, my YouTube channel. I'm Gary, and this is my segment, My Five. We'll talk about five players that I want to highlight from the game. Uh, I guess we'll first get into the lineups and then talk about, the team, My Five, and go from there. All right, so as you know, this was a 4-2 convincing win for Arsenal against Leeds after the last match where we drew 0-0 with a man down and got lucky to get that point. Today we needed to turn that around and get something better, and we did. At least, definitely the scoreline says that. First thing I did, like usual, is look at the lineup, and I noticed some changes. Erdiger was in there, probably sitting in the middle. Xhaka and Ceballos would be our midfield with Partey being out. And then I was expecting, hopefully, to see Gabriel and Marie as our center back pairing, but Luis was there, so I said, okay, that's fine. We can. He's been an okay play for us. Good some days, bad some days. So we'll see how this goes. Once again, our bench has been pretty strong, and that's been pretty nice to see that we could go to our bench if we need to. You've got Holding, Marie, you've got Pepe and Martinelli and Laka on the Lacazette on the bench. So if we needed to make a change for anything positive, we could go that route. Um, go there. Also, we saw Willian on the bench. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. So, you know, my five coming into this game were Aubameyang coming back, getting into the starting lineup. It's been a while since he's been there, and we wanted to see how he feels now about how it feels to be in this team now with the kind of a structure change that we have going on. Things have been pretty good, and it'd be nice to see how he does. Also, Erdiger getting his first start. That was going to be telling. I wanted to see how he was going to do and how he was going to fit in. Then we've got Ceballos and Xhaka. That pairing is something I wanted to see how that would work. In the past, when we've had Partey out of the lineup, it's been a struggle to see how our midfield is gonna present itself and perform. And we'll get into that. And last is Luis. Like I said, I thought Marie would come in because it sounded like from the rumors that he would, Marie and Gabriel were going to be playing, have been practicing together. And I guess it was just practice or rumor, who knows? So we'll see. But Louise got the nod today, which, okay, you look at the lineup, you say, all right, well, maybe Aubameyang, Arteta is looking towards the Benfica game, and then also the Man City game after that, and making sure that his players are rested, the ones that he wants to lean on for those games. So Pepe, Martinelli, well, I guess Pepe and Lacazette and Holding being out, maybe that was them getting a rest. Holding has been decent for me, but he's made some mistakes, which I think he should have been able to do better at. So it was telling in the last game, and I don't know if that's from rest or what, but he kind of, he checked out for a little bit, and it's hurt us sometimes. So maybe he needed the rest, and he got it. He definitely got it. So let's get into it. So we'll go a little backwards in terms of, I'll start with Louise and end up with Aubameyang. So Louise comes in. I believe the defense does a solid job back there. The pairing is works fine. Gabriel looks good. I mean, he actually Gabriel started moving the ball forward, and maybe that's because Louise is back there, and that seemed to help us in our attacks. Louise, is doing some of the things he always did. I don't. One of the things that I always say is that if I'm quiet about a player, that could be a good or bad thing. It could be good because I don't even notice some of the things that are going on, or it could be bad in the sense that everything else that's going on around them is going pretty well. So we don't need to be concerned with what he's doing. As we kept the game 4-0 up until like what is it, the 47th? I guess it was the 47th mark. I think we scored our fourth goal in the game, and then from there things started to not look so good. And I don't know if that was an instruction that to tone things down, but at that point I was looking forward to seeing a couple more goals go in because I think we could have done that, and we needed it. I think we needed a game like that where we kind of come out and just blow somebody away and take them to the basically to the to the house really, and finish them off in good. I think we had that, but you can't let up. I mean, we've seen it before. Going up 4-0 does not guarantee you all the points if you don't play well for full 90. Luis towards the end seemed to start to not be the same guy. A couple of plays that happened, a couple of scores that happened, he was kind of right there in the middle of it. The header may not have been his direct fault, but he's got to know those that are coming into his area. If we're playing, I believe zonal marking is kind of what it's called, but you got to know who's coming into your area. And if you're going to go up for a header, you're going to have to attack that with some gusto and not get blown off of it like he did, and the header went in. So, not all his fault, but also I believe that was kind of his area. So if it is, then he needs to be better at that. Um, but in general, he had an okay game. I guess it definitely solidified. It has. I've always thought of him as our third or fourth center back anyway. So this only just confirmed that. And maybe I don't know if he'll play the next two games. Maybe if he does, it'll be for resting purposes. But in general, I think he is what I think he is, which is a backup to the Gabriel, Murray, and Holding center backs that we have already. Next up is the Ceballos and Xhaka, and I'll talk about them together because I didn't see a lot bad from them as a pairing, or things that stood out to me. I think a lot of what I saw was pretty good in the sense that we were able to keep things flowing from the forward all the way to the from our center backs all the way forward to our forwards. So it was really good there. Sorry, I got a little buzzing over here on my phone. But yeah, so the pairing there, they did pretty well for me. They they both got an assist, right? So you can't go wrong with that. So that's got to be a good sign when your your middle midfield pairing actually is able to provide scoring opportunities, and they did a lot there. Keeping that ball moving forward, which is what we like to see. The pass from Xhaka that went up, I think, to Aubameyang, although not he didn't really put him in a situation to score, but it was a ball that was moved forward with him to have space, and Aubameyang was able to put it away. So with that pairing worked well for us. How consistent is it? And I think that's going to be we'll find out because we're going to need them to be as good as they were this yesterday for the rest until Partey comes back into the fold, or we find the person that stands up and can take on some of those roles. So in general, I like those two together. Like I said, they both got an assist, so they can't. There's nothing wrong with that, and that's what we look for out of them. So the defense for the two, I think, was pretty good. Kept them at bay a little bit, Leeds as they were coming through. But I'll take, if I can get that every day consistently, then we'll take it. That's the problem. We just haven't seen it consistent from the two. Next up is Erdiger, and when I saw him coming into lineup, I was happy for it, and I believe that means that Arteta has some confidence in him. So that was pretty good to see. So once he has confidence in a player, hopefully, and that player can, perform, and that's what he did. He looked really good out there. Are we expecting perfection yet? I don't think so. The one thing that I am concerned about every time I see him come out and do something good is this the first, is this like the first and last time we're going to see him with a shirt this season? Not this season, but will we see him next season? So I kind of don't want to get my hopes up because I'll see him do good, and kind of like Ceballos did good, went away and it seemed like he wasn't going to come back. Comes back and then kind of doesn't bring everything that we want. So Erdegaard, same thing, comes in, did really well in the game. Once again, seemed really quiet. I didn't really realize he was out there. Maybe because I was kind of getting them confused between him and Emil Rowe. I mean, I think one of the things that Arteta does is that, those three players right there behind their striker really can interchange if they will need to, and you see that a lot. Actually, at one point I saw Bellerin up there in the mix, so I think one of the things that Arteta's brought is that, what, just because you have a particular role doesn't mean you can't, if the opportunity arises, you can't go in there and fill a spot, and that's kind of what we saw. Um, so it was really good to see them kind of mix things up. Erdegaard had a couple of opportunities to get, to actually to have scoring chances, maybe get completed. They didn't happen. He made some passes which look like, errors in judgment, but actually, if you look at it a little bit closer, you'll see that he saw an opening and then it's just wanted a player to. And then in one case, I think it was Aubameyang. He was hoping that Aubameyang was going to kind of do a little spin inside and take the ball and take the pass. The pass came through, but Aubameyang was kind of moving in the wrong direction. So that's an opportunity that looks bad on the stat sheet, but if you look at the game, he sees what's going on, ahead of him and behind the offensive player, and is able to put them in good situations. So he had a shot that was just a little bit off the mark, but I think we saw a lot of that from everybody. So I think, I always say, do they practice shooting? Because it looks like, when they take any shots and they just get blasted over the goal. It's like either they're rushing it or they just need to kind of slow things down just a little bit so they can get a little bit more accuracy with their shots. So I'll take if this is what we're going to get from Erdegar, I'll take that all day. Uh, this is what we like to see. So they bring in a player and they're able to actually contribute, and he did pretty well for me. Also, will he start in the next couple of games? Probably not, but we know we have a decent backup there for now, and he's only going to grow. Hopefully, he gets to stay the next year, but that is up in the air, and that's kind of my fear. When we bring in these types of loans that are promising, and then they turn out to just be positive, and the potential is there for their original team. So we'll see how that goes. Last but not least is Aubameyang. He's kind of been in and out this season, and then he was out for a while. Then he had some family issues that he needed to deal with. Happy all that's good now. And he came in, and one thing that you'll notice, and one thing that I didn't notice before, is I felt like he was moving a lot today, or should I say yesterday during the game. He was all over the field. Actually, at one point, I was saying to myself, or I may even said it out loud during the watch along, that I was hoping that he would stop moving so much that 'cause he's going to tire himself out. But that's the kind of Aubameyang that we like to see, kind of moving up and down the field, getting into spaces, and that's kind of what he did. He, got some space out there on the left from that pass from Xhaka, and was able to cut inside and put a pass between two defenders, and then pass the goalie. I mean, that was superb. That was great. Had maybe an opportunity. I like to say he had two opportunities for penalty kicks. One got taken away, which is we'll talk about that a little bit as well. But he got a penalty kick and finished that off, and then finished off with a header. So he kicked one in himself. He got a PK, and then he got a header. All Jose call was a perfect try. So he did pretty well there. Perfect, perfect hat trick as they call it. So will we see that again? And the next game is Lacazette resting. I think Arteta's got a big dilemma on his hands. This is what we want to see. We want to have enough players that he has to make serious decisions and take the players that are on form. Was Lacazette needed to get out? Maybe it seemed like he did. It seemed like he was maybe getting a little bit overworked and tired and needed a little refresher. So maybe that was good that he got a break and Aubameyang came in and with the lineup that he had around him was able to perform. So I think if you have Lacazette in there, then you can get a lot more out of the three behind him. But if you have Aubameyang in there, then you need those three behind him to kind of perform as well. So a lot more. So we'll see how that all pans out in the Thursday lineup. Uh, my man of the match in this game was Saka. I know Aubameyang had the hat trick, but I felt like Saka was basically the main concern of Leeds. He was making attacking runs. They were taking him out. Eventually, at some point, things slowed down. A yellow card was shown, I believe, and then that's when the game kind of I felt like the game would started to open up a little bit more for us because they could just focus on him, and then we took advantage of that all over the place. Right. So, for me, Saka was the guy. He's been a solid player for us all year, but there's got to be some certain games that he stands out. And this one he did when we didn't know how things were going to pan out. I think he made it easy with some of his attacking style and opened things up, which I think trickled around all around the field for Jacques and Ceballos to make their lives easier. And then so there you go. So well, I guess the one thing we'll talk about as well is that Willian comes in holding, and then he came in. I was expecting a little bit stronger, different types of players to come in. I thought holding would be good for defensive purposes, but El Neri and Willian just didn't. If we were, I guess if we're trying to get goals, didn't seem like the best time to do that. And Willian came in after we had given up a goal, and it didn't seem to slow things down for Leeds as well by bringing him on. So sometimes I feel like he doesn't come in and give us what we want. Um, he doesn't solidify the defense, doesn't help with the attack as much as I would like him to. So we'll see if he continues to get playing time now that we know with Pepe, Martinelli, and Lacazette sitting on the bench. It's surprised they didn't get on. That's surprising in itself, especially Martinelli. He hasn't had a opportunity to play, and I'm assuming it's because he's injured. To me, it doesn't. He fits into this structure that we have now. So for him to be sitting is kind of surprising. All in all, like I said, really good game for us. We went up 4-0. We let them back in the game for 2 goals. I know we still finished up with a 4-2 win, which, as I've said, and people like laughed at me. Originally, I thought 4-2 was going to be the score, and then I kind of, retreated on that a little bit and went with 3-2. But I was hoping for a Leeds team that was going to open things up for us, and they did. So we did pretty well in that first 50 minutes. So, hopefully, we got another 10 minutes out of us, maybe get 60 minutes and put a game away. But all in all, really good game from the players. Arteta's plan, what we're seeing out there looks really good. We just need to build on it. Hopefully we can stay healthy and be able to showcase that over and over and over again. So once again, thank you for listening to my Wi-Fi segment. Leave any comments below. Remember to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next show. I try to do this right after the game, but it was Valentine's Day yesterday, so I got to spend some time with the family, so I kind of didn't get to it until today. So have a good day, night, evening, wherever you are. Come on, you Gunners, and remember these words. Life is a journey. Don't waste the trip. Enjoy the ride. All right, thanks. Good night.